Whenever I was 12 years old, I sort of got fixated on the idea of being transgender. And by the time I turned 14, I was approved for testosterone and a double mastectomy. Many parents are just trying to do what's best for their child. They're maybe a little bit too trusting in professionals, people with white coats and degrees. But there are parents with nefarious intent involved in this. The term transhausen was not coined for nothing.
This is the end result of years of indoctrination. This is the end result of parents who would rather be friends with their child than choose the more difficult path, which is being their parent. You know, when I was growing up, you know what we called premenstrual girls who dress like boys? We called them tomboys. Today, doctors at Woke Memorial Hospital call them patients. I took an oath. We must protect this poor child. God made a mistake. He gave this child the wrong gender. Call up the therapist. We need gender affirming care immediately. Unfortunately, this is what pride has become. Emotion over reality. You see, the thing about emotion, especially when we are talking about children, emotions have a tendency to change. Sometimes emotions can change rapidly. 1 minute, my teenage daughter's in a great mood. 60 seconds later, her world is collapsing because she missed a goal in a soccer game. Emotions change. Reality does not. Decades ago, when the Pride movement started, it was a day set aside for the LGBT to come together and celebrate. 1970. The first Pride Week was held in New York City. 2 years later, the first Pride Parade was held in San Francisco, better known today as the City of Rainbows. 1990. Identifying as the G in LGBT is no longer considered to be a disease or a mental disorder. Now, whether you agreed with it or not, the Pride movement started as a fight for rights. But as is always the case with doofus Democrats, hell, there's a reason they refer to themselves as progressives. The movement never stops. By design, it has to progress further and further. Once LGBT rights were obtained, once they were given an inch, the party of the donkey, they started demanding miles. Pride Week turned into Pride Month. Pride Month turned into almost 100 holidays on the woke calendar. International Transgender Day of Visibility. I guess Tran Dan thinks he's invisible for 364 days, but on March 31st, Danny or Danielle celebrates their visibility. National Coming Out Day, Celebrate Bisexuality Day, Intersex Awareness Day, plus Pride Day. Every year, more and more days were added to the woke calendar. No one stopped it because most people didn't know about it because it didn't affect them. But then, doofus Democrats do what they always do, and they push things too far. Pride became less about celebrating the LGBT and more about pushing an ideology. Pride was pushed in schools. The party of the donkey started indoctrinating children. And for a while, it was working. But there was one problem, one tiny problem. Doofus Democrats underestimated the power of American mothers. Corporations who were proud to flaunt their pride, corporations who were proud to celebrate Wiener, they started to feel the impact of their pride where it matters most, their bank account. As a result, the business of Pride is now on life support and on the verge of bankruptcy. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at American Alternative Assets. One of the most important aspects of getting older, saving for retirement. Most people invest through their 401k, which is a great strategy, but the markets can be volatile. You never know when another 2008 crash is coming that's going to wipe out 20-30% of your savings, if not more. It's important to protect yourself, and that's where American Alternative Assets steps in. American Alternative Assets isn't just another company that's looking to sell you gold and silver. They have highly trained specialists that will help preserve your wealth. When you purchase through American Alternative Assets, they send you the actual gold. They don't send you a piece of paper congratulating you for buying gold. They send you the physical coins. If you change your mind later and decide that gold isn't the right investment strategy for you, American Alternative Assets has a 100% buyback guarantee. You just call them up, they buy it back from you. American Alternative Assets will work with you every step of the way to protect your retirement. If precious metals isn't the right investment strategy for you, they'll tell you. You literally have nothing to lose. So start protecting yourself today by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below, or you can call 855-GOLD-001, 855-GOLD-001. Headline at NPR: Pride celebrations struggle as corporate sponsorships dry up. When we talked about this on Monday, I was reading through your comments here on YouTube, and a lot of you guys were making an interesting point. All Pride funding from USAID has been frozen, suspended, or dismantled entirely. Don Trump took away tens of millions of dollars that were being used to celebrate Pride. Uncle KC, where did all that money go? Who cares? I don't care if that money is being used to fill potholes. Maybe it's being used to build new stadiums for professional sports teams. Hell, I don't care if they burned the money and made it worthless. I don't want my tax dollars being used so AOC LGBT can be the captain of the float in the gay pride parade. AOC, it's easy as LGB, it's simple as TQY. AOC, LGB boys can become girls. With the loss of taxpayer funding, along with formerly woke corporations who are no longer willing to taste the rainbow, Pride organizations are having a very difficult time raising private funding for their events. I wonder why. Like I told you guys the other day, I used to be in a Mardi Gras organization. Now, unlike Pride, we did not receive public funding. We were responsible for raising our own money for the parade. We had to pay for security. We had to pay for the floats, booze, the venue for the ball, worthless necklaces and stale moon pies, costumes. The government didn't pay for it. We did. One of the reasons that Pride was able to become mainstream, they were spending other people's money. I'm sure some of that money was being used for travel expenses to get people from out of state to the Pride parade, which might explain why some Pride events saw a 60% reduction in attendance last year. Washington, D.C., 3 million people were expected to fly rainbow flags and celebrate Pride. Only 1.2 million were able to show up and make it to the event. New York City saw a reduction of $750,000 in Pride donations. This year, Pride organizers in Pittsburgh, they have seen a 40% decline in funding. Now, what does this tell you? Think about it. If the people of Pittsburgh supported Pride, they would show up, right? They would donate, they would fund these exciting events. But without outside funding, without government funding, a lot of these Pride celebrations cease to exist, which is why dozens of Pride events have been canceled. Uncle Casey, this is temporary. Woke corporations are afraid to be associated with Pride because they fear the federal government. Don Trump has destroyed diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's all his fault. I hate Orange Man Bad. You can blame the Trumper if you want. And there is no denying the fact that Don Trump has decimated the disease of diversity. Perhaps Donnie has put fear in woke corporations. Maybe that's part of the reason they have atoned for their sin of embracing pride. But I don't think that's the main reason. Hell, it's never been more popular to defy the Trumper. The war with Iran, unpopular. Gas prices high, grocery prices high. We just saw a collection of washed up has-beens, or in some cases, never-knowns. We just saw a collection of artists that no one gives a shit about pull out of the 250th celebration of America because Don Trump was associated with it. If corporations were still funding Pride, they would be celebrated by the mainstream media. The Trumper is not to blame. I think the main reason corporations have distanced themselves from Pride, they finally felt the wrath of American mothers. In the last 5 years, Target has lost nearly 50% of its value, same with Disney. Does anyone remember the last time Disney released a blockbuster movie? Hell, when is the last time Disney released a timeless classic? I can scroll through my guide on Dish Network right now. I'll see multiple Disney classics from the 90s. I hardly see anything modern because the vast majority of Disney releases today end up directly in the pooper. Corporations finally realized pride comes before the fall, and that is the reason they are hesitant to be associated with Pride. Earlier this week, Arlington, Texas became the latest city to cancel Pride. After 4 years of celebration, Pride is canceled in Texas. The truth is, Pride was a trend. For a couple of years, it was trendy to embrace Pride. Back in the 90s, it was trendy to spend thousands of dollars on worthless Beanie Babies. You guys remember these things? Back then, they were called Beanie Babies. Today, they would be called emotional support animals. During the late 90s, upper middle class mothers and lonely men were paying thousands of dollars for this garbage. Believe it or not, there were actually people who considered these stuffed animals to be an investment. I have a diverse portfolio. I have a stuffed bear, stuffed cat. I even have a stuffed wiener worth thousands of pesos. Eventually, people woke up and realized that they were wasting thousands of dollars on a toy. And today, Beanie Babies are essentially worthless. Like all trends, it lasted for a certain amount of time, and that is exactly what happened to Pride. Once it no longer became trendy, corporations pulled out, which is why Pride is now on life support. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.